Hello, and welcome to the Thursday Night Kissaten podcast. I'm your host, Cordelia. Today, in this episode, we're not going to talk about TV show, but a screenwriter name is Kankurō Kudō. So, while I was working on several other episodes for this podcast, I realized that many of the TV shows that we're going to talk about are all written by Kankurō Kudō. So I thought we need to talk about this one of my favorite screenwriters, the Kankurō Kudō first. So who is he? Kankurō Kudō, whose real name is actually Shunichiro Miyato. He was born in 1970s in Kurihara, Miyagi. He is known as a screenwriter, a director, and also an actor. He has won the Best Screenwriters Award for 11 times. Without finishing his university studies, Kudō joined the Adult Project Theater in 1991 and became a copywriting assistant. From the year 1996, he began to write and direct a series of the stage plays. Also in 1999, he started his career as a screenwriter for TV shows. In the year of 2000, his work, Ikebukuro West Exist Park, won the Best Screenplay Award at the 25th Japanese Drama Academy Awards for the action drama. Just for my listeners' reference here, that the Japanese Drama Academy Awards hosts several times a year and is actually in one of the highest level of the drama awards. So this is a big deal. In the Ikebukuro West Exist Park, Tomohisa Yamashita had the most beautiful acting moment in the Japanese TV history. The role he played passed away and fell to the ground from a locker with the black feathers all over his body. Sad and spectacular. Just like how the sakura fell from the trees in the spring. That moment has stayed in many people's brain, including me, for the past 23 years. In the year of 2002, Kankurō Kudō served as the screenwriter of the feature film Go. This is a story about a Korean-Japanese living experience and history. And this movie won the Best Screenplay Award at the 25th Japan Film Academy Awards, which has greatly increased Kudō's reputation. In the year 2003, he won the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science and Technology Newcomers Award at the Japan Art Selection Awards for his comedy work. Kissaten. In 2005, he won the Best Screenplay Award at the 45th Japanese Drama Academy Awards for another comedy show called Tiger and Dragon. And 4 years later, in 2009, he won the Screenwriter Awards at the 59th Japanese Drama Academy Awards for his suspenseful reasoning drama, Ryusei no Kitsuna. And 2 years later, he won the 29th Mukuda Kuniko Award for his self-directed crime comedy, Narcissist Detective. And another 2 years later, in 2013, with the morning drama Ama-chan, he won the Best Screen Award at the 6th Tokyo International Television Festival and the Best Screenwriter Award at the 78th Japanese Drama Academy Awards. So if you have a Netflix account, you can access many of Kankurō's shows, including The Tiger and Dragon, Story of My House, Saving My Stupid Youth, and the latest one actually, Let's Get Divorced. Kankurō Kudō is a genius. Yes, I really think he's a genius. Any story under his pen gains a soul, a life, and it starts to haunt in the audience brain. When it comes to his screenwriting style, the first impression is often labels such as a unique way of thinking or extreme brain circuit rotation. His narrative style consists of an unpredictable theory of the twists and turns, along with spoofies and a sense of many other things. His writing is very rich. For example, in the TV show Ryusei no Kitsuna, the story is based on Keigo Higashino's novel. But in the book, it reveals who killed the parents at the beginning, but the TV show, the answer is revealed at the end with many twists and turns. Even those who have read the novel before watching the show are still caught in the trap and follow the storyline created by the Kankurō Kudō. Compared to the orthodox screenwriters who came, graduate from a professional background, Kudō's experience is like of a mess, can be said that, right? He started with writing, even though he wanted to act, and he still exists life, but with his extensive life experience, he has become a screenwriter like a god image. The audience can sense how his unstable life has influenced his writing and also creation. Kudō is one of very few screenwriters who dare to ignore the audience ratings. Audio rating is such a big thing in Japan. Generally, a high-quality TV show script can often bring good ratings to the TV channels, but however, Kudō's is expectation. He's not in that expectations. After Ikebukuro Western Exist Park, which has become like an instant hit, major TV channels scrambled and want to secure the distribution rights to Kudō's work. They all wanted to launch his work during the prime time, which is around 7 p.m., 8 p.m., and 9 p.m. But most of the shows always received very bad ratings. When the world was ready to offer a very bad criticisms about this, this writer, the TV show's DVDs were sold with the record-breaking performance. So it is assumed that Kudō has a very particular but large group of audience members. His show deserved to watch and rewatched, and even include a collection in any library focused on Japanese social justice studies. These contradictions of the low ratings and high popularity soon earned him another title: a screenwriter who cannot be defined by the audience rating numbers. From the year of 2006 to 2016, within those 10 years, Kudō, with his low-rated works, swept the best Japanese drama awards. So in my head, in my opinion, he's truly a genius. Every time I watch his work, I was amazed. I'm willing to give up on control and just let his story to take me wherever it leads. It is extremely exciting for me. I just have to trust upon him, I gave him so much. In the Ikebukuro Western Exist Park, here are the opening lines written by Kankurō Kudō. In AD 2000, a brave man shows up on the street, and everything begins with a murder. He helps solve so many murder cases, leading to a fight at the end. Yellow country on the west, black country on the east. Here we go, the largest game of throne. And Makoto stops the fight. And that is me. I am Makoto. If you still feel like, that's not nothing, let me show you more. let me show you more of his work here, as much as possible. In the Kissaten Katses, Kankurō Kudō's most popular work, actually, and he abandons that the step-by-step narrative and creativity uses the renew arrangement method of divide the stories of each episode into outer and inner layers. So the story gradually unfolds from the outside to the inside, from the friends group community to the main character's his heart. And the most famous line from the show is, "You're not a Bambi anymore. You're a deer." Okay, you have to watch the show to understand this line. This is such like a bittersweet in every single moment of the show. That's what I mean by the outer and inner and everything built up. And you will always have this aha moment after it. Another example, in the Manhattan love story, the owner of the coffee shop Manhattan never talks, but observes the customers, and also their relationships and their love stories mainly. And here's a line that the owner says to a customer. He says, "I like Colombia coffee, but I also like Madrid coffee. However, I never thought about mixing those two together because they have completely different flavors. Just like how I cannot fall in love with two women at the same time. You may enjoy the blind coffee, but that's your problem. If you truly want to receive someone's love, you will have to let go of another party." The same goes for coffee. And in Kudō's masterpiece, this is another example, Tiger and Dragon. Tiger, Liuji says, "Whenever I find myself in a difficult situation, I always think that I must share this energy with others when I return. And when I think about it, I feel like that's what's happening now is far from enough. This experience are not enough to make the people around me laugh. Don't you want to go back and tell others about your current experience? Don't you want to make them laugh about hearing it?" I will remember this quote forever. Actually, I do. I watched this very early on. I often tell myself that everything is just an experience that can become a poem or a short novel under my hands. So, it is not enough. No matter how sad it is, no matter how wonderful it is, well, it is still wonderful. But even though it's hard, I need more to write about it. It's not that making the trouble. Life is already hard enough. I don't need to make it harder. I just think that's how I carry it with me all the time. This is theory that just keeps me and many people going, and how I can have a lighter heart towards the hardships. And another example in the Ryusei no Kitsuna. Oh, Ryusei no Kitsuna. Okay. My dear audience, this is one of my absolutely favorite show. In the show, the bigger brother tells his younger brother and also younger sister, and he says, "We're all like shooting stars. We're aimless and drifting away, and not knowing when we will burn out and disappear. But we're connected. We're bonded. No matter whenever we are bound together. So, don't be afraid." Grew up as an only child, I want that. When I first watched it, I want siblings like that. And in one of his most famous work, Ama-chan, a 15-minute NHK morning show. A turning point in Kudō's life and the turning point of his screenwriting career, because it is no longer just a comedy or hilarious jokes that he can write. The show actually showcases Kankurō's sense of missions as a screenwriter to contemplate society. Of course, Ama-chan is a major NHK morning show. He showed the reconstruction of the 2011 Japanese earthquake through the eyes of two Ama-chan's characters, providing the healing and solitary to many wounded souls. In the show, Haruko, in the Ama-chan, she says, "Those who hate their own hometowns and run off to big cities like Tokyo, they're hopeless. Only those who love their hometowns will thrive no matter where they go." I have thought about this. This is not about the environment or society around us. This is all about ourselves. So true. Those who don't love themselves or their heritage will find it difficult and miserable no matter where they go or who they end up with. Those who are unwilling to spend time learning about themselves will not willing to learn about others neither. The 2011 earthquake changed many Japanese lives and their worldview, including the creator like Kankurō Kudō and anime director Makoto Shinkai. Kankurō also writes a lot about youth, about growing up, about the pain of growing up, and he definitely tried to lift up the teenagers in the Japanese society. In Saving My Stupid Youth, that TV show, even though the ratings were not high, but it's still listed in the top 10 Japanese high school dramas, which is one of my favorite. Every single segment is in the best of the history of high school dramas. I can't recommend it enough. If you have Netflix, please go check this. The young male teacher says once in the TV show, and he says, "Youth cannot be fully understood. If you cannot understand it, then forget about it. Once we look back on it after growing up, we just realize that being confused is a part of life, part of puberty." And in another work on the similar topic about youth, that called "So What About Being the Loose Generation?" It definitely talks about the social responsibilities with deeper thoughts and heavier emotions in this show. I actually cried when I watched it. Kudō's main character says here, he says, "Does a perfect adult really exist? Unlike our physical bodies, some of us remains in the states of mental puberty and continue living like that. Some adults also make mistakes. They can be lazy, avoid responsibilities, lose directions, find excuses to cry, blame others, and fall in love with someone that they shouldn't. Adults also make mistakes. So please be a person who allows others to make mistakes." I cannot relate it more. Seems like Kudō has been living so many lives already that he gives the reason or give his the capacity to understand so many other people and to use his work to touch people just by watching all those shows. I want to be a writer like him that just offer the space, offer the opportunities for the audience, also readers to be heard. As you can see, I just think Kudō is an incredible talented screenwriter. I hope you feel the same. But honestly, I grew up watching Kudō's show and his work. I initially started watching because, many Johnny's boys are actors in them. Well, it may give you an idea of which generation I belong to, but to be honest here, I have learned so many life lessons from Kankurō Kudō's work. Well, one of the greatest gifts I have received as a human being is Kudō's works. Somehow, his works light up the path for me. Well, I'm going to rewatch the Ryusei no Kizuna before diving into the new show, Let's Get Divorced. Just because Ninomiya Kazunari showed up in my dream last night, which was super awesome. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Since some of the TV show is not available in English, I personally translated a lot of dialogues mentioned in the episodes. This episode was edited by Grace and written by me, Cordelia. Remember, please, to check out our new podcast website. And thank you again for listening. Stay tuned for our next episode.